over 1.2 crore people. A city on the moon. A city where time is precious. A city where living costs are highest in the country. That's Mumbai for you. And what's been Mumbai's companion through all this hustle and bustle is the Vada Pav.
According to some estimates, over 20 lakh Vada Pavs are sold on a daily basis in Mumbai. And one man singularly is responsible for selling about 30,000 of those. Our winning warrior this week is a success story, but he has a very long way even if he wants to capture 1/10 of the daily Vada Pav economy in Mumbai.
Jumboking, a name as popular as the Vada Pav itself in Mumbai. It's the brainchild of Dheeraj Gupta, who was so impressed by Burger King and McDonald's in the West that he couldn't help but adapt their business model to the Indian context.
Thank you so much.
And being a Mumbaikar, the Vada Pav was arrived at as an obvious choice. Dheeraj launched Jumboking in 2001 by investing 2 lakh rupees. Today, his annual turnover stands at 12 crore rupees from his 36 stores, half of which are run by franchisees. The big idea is not just a more hygienic Vada Pav, it's also having outlets at the right, read, crowded locations. We accompanied Dheeraj to one such outlet in Mumbai's suburbs, strategically located next to the train station.
Retail, it's all about location, location, location. So that's what we said, that we might have to pay really high rentals, but we'll only go to stores and locations where the footfalls are really high. Because we could have taken a location which may be 3 stores away, but we would probably end up doing half the business. So, we are one of the highest payers of rent in Mumbai city. And fortunately for us, we were looking at a format which was typically 200 to 400 square feet. So your bigger modern retail players, they operate in the 1000 square feet kind of formats. So we weren't competing with them. The only guy we really compete with are the ATM guys, the bank ATMs, because they look for 200 square feet.
And it isn't an ordinary Vada Pav that you get at Jumboking. It's the Vada Pav with a perfect 3.25-inch bread, 16 grams of garlic sauce, 16 grams of onions, a perfect 2.75-inch patty inside. We decided to bite in.
Dheeraj, interestingly, I'm holding a Vada Pav, which doesn't look like a Vada Pav at all. It's almost like a packaged McDonald's, Burger King product. Why did you feel the need to make a Vada Pav fancy?
It was, there's a huge need to do it in terms of product innovation, because the customers are screaming and shouting for getting more variety coming into the product category. It's like, you take it burgers, they all were the basic vanilla burger when it started. It's McDonald's which came along and got the filet of fish and the McVeggie and the double-decker burgers, and then someone else worked on the pizza, and you have Pizza Hut and Domino's where you have a cheese burst pizza now.
Was this the thought when you were launching? Because I'm looking at the germ of the idea really.
No, it wasn't. In fact, at that time we used to just fight on a basic thing where people would say that only with Vada Pav you can't possibly pay the high the rental cost for putting up a store in Bombay. You'll have to have a samosa, you'll have to have bhaji pav, you'll have to have chaat, you'll have to have other things, because everyone around was doing that. But we realized that America has got some of the greatest brands in the world, because they have some people, McDonald's did only burgers, they did not do pizza also. Pizza Hut did only pizzas. So they took one product and figure out how they can make people have that product in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening and in the night.
Was there also aversion or resistance in the initial stages because people didn't really recognize this as a Vada Pav?
A lot of the people, they saw this Jumboking store which visibly looked far cleaner than the neighboring store, and this was how they got introduced to Vada Pav, as it's a round bread with a patty and onions in it which is wrapped. So you have this entire generation now that Jumboking is 9 years old who know that Vada Pav is supposed to be this way, and the other one is probably the cheaper roadside version. And yes, we do have this problem with guys who are above 30, because they have come up eating Vada Pav from some of the other street side vendors. So they feel this is not Vada Pav. So that's when we focused our target and we said that fine, Fortunately, 50% of our population is below 25 years old. So let's get them in.
So basically, Dheeraj's ability to recognize his evolving market and catch on with it has enabled Jumboking to evolve as well.
Do you think the positioning of Jumboking has also changed now?
We used to think, as everybody thinks, that this is poor man's food and people who don't have money are going to have a vada pav. Then we spoke with the youths and asked them, whether they like Jumboking or whether they don't. They are like, we like it, but you don't have any variety. It's just one basic 5 rupee, 6 rupee, 7 rupee product. Why don't you add cheese to it? So all those conceptions of, oh my god, the cheese slice alone is going to cost 10 bucks. So in a 6 rupee vada pav, how can you have a 10 rupee cheese slice? We introduced that and it did extremely well. So we introduced Shezwan and Chole, targeted typically at the youth. The way our stores look, you have a lot of youth around. Earlier it used to be like that. We are rebranding our stores now.
Okay.
So from that, very old style of product display, it came to more of attitude and aspirations.
How important was it to go the franchisee way?
Actually, initially we did a lot of aping McDonald's A to Z. So because McDonald's was franchising, we started franchising. So, and of course, it did bring in a lot of investments into the company. We got in some great people who contributed and building the whole thing. So it was more like because McDonald's did it, therefore Jumboking was doing it. So a lot of the initial things were like, let's not reinvent the wheel. What is already working and has worked for another brand will work for us also.
Foreign players like a McDonald's cutting down on their prices as well.
Correct.
So if on the menu here I'm looking at 15 rupees for a vada pav, there is a McDonald's burger for 20 rupees.
Correct.
How do you compete with that?
Now it is at 25.
Okay.
We keep track of their pricing. And see, what you get over there at 25, I would say it's an excuse for a burger because it's a small product. It's not really, their actual product is at 45 bucks. What we are offering at 15 is a Chole Jumboking. So it is, we always say that where we leave the market, our highest price product is at 25, Chole with cheese, what we are having now.
Yeah.
And the McDonald's burger starts at 25.
Even if McDonald's prices were competitive, Jumboking locations would be hard to beat. But even Dheeraj didn't quite have a jump start. After the break, we visit the Jumboking factory
These are all measured packets of what is going to get added.
and find out how a failed venture actually made Dheeraj realize what works and what does not.
There are certain projects which are unviable. That was unviable.
Dheeraj Gupta founded Jumboking in 2001 with an initial investment of 2 lakh rupees. 9 years later, Jumboking has sold around 7 crore vada pavs in the city and the annual turnover stands at 12 crore rupees. We decided to visit that one place that literally brings in the flavor to Jumboking, the central kitchen that supplies to the 36 Jumboking outlets across Mumbai.
These are the kettles where the potato gets boiled. There's no secret recipe, but yes, I can. In fact, he's making a batch right now. He is going to make the masala. This is the oil, and these are all measured packets of what is going to get added. This is all standardized.
The preparations apart, we wanted to know how this kitchen delivers the Jumboking promise of the hygienic vada pav.
See, the basic idea is there should be minimum human touch to the product because the highest contamination happens if your bare hands are touching the food. So, like what you've seen is, even the portioning, earlier it used to be done by the hand. Okay, we had to get in these machines to just ensure that we get an exact 42 gram patty which goes into every Jumboking. So, these machines, they ensure that happens.
Okay, but you are running a franchisee model. I think half of your stores right now are franchisees.
Correct.
And when this product reaches them, there is the frying